my channel. This is the Unintentional ASMR Book Club. If you're new here, welcome. You're just in time for the bedtime stories. So tonight's book is a continuation of the one which I did recently. This book is called The Catcher in the Rye. I will be continuing where I left off in the first part. So let's begin. Anyway, it was December and all, and it was cold as a witch's teeth, especially on top of that stupid hill. I only had on my reversible and no gloves or anything. The week before that, somebody'd stolen my camel's hair coat right out of my room, with my fur-lined gloves right in the pocket and all. Pansy was full of crooks. Quite a few guys came from these very wealthy families, but it was full of crooks anyway. The more expensive a school is, the more crooks it has. I'm not kidding. Anyway, I kept standing next to that crazy cannon, looking down at the game and freezing my ass off. Only I wasn't watching the game too much. What I was really hanging around for, I was trying to feel some kind of a goodbye. I mean, I've left schools and places I didn't even know I was leaving them. I hate that. I don't care if it's a sad goodbye or a bad goodbye, but when I leave a place, I like to know I'm leaving it. If you don't, you feel even worse. I was lucky. All of a sudden, I thought of something that helped make me know I was getting the hell out. I suddenly remembered this time, in around October, that I and Robert Tishner and Paul Campbell were chucking a football around in front of the academic building. They were nice guys, especially Tishner. It was just before dinner, and it was getting pretty dark out. But we kept chucking the ball around anyway. It kept getting darker and darker, and we could hardly see the ball anymore. But we didn't want to stop doing what we were doing. Finally, we had to. This teacher that taught biology, Mr. Zambesi, stuck his head out of this window in the academic building and told us to go back to the dorm and get ready for dinner. If I get a chance to remember that kind of stuff, and I can get a goodbye when I need one, at least most of the time I can, as soon as I got it, I turned around and started running down the other side of the hill toward old Spencer's house. He didn't live on the campus. He lived on Anthony Wayne Avenue. I ran all the way to the main gate, and then I waited a second till I got my breath. I have no wind, if you want to know the truth. I'm quite a heavy smoker, for one thing, that is. I used to be. They made me cut it out. Another thing, I grew 6.5 inches last year. That's also how I practically got TB and came out here for all these goddamn checkups and stuff. I'm pretty healthy though. Anyway, as soon as I got my breath back, I ran across Route 204. It was icy as hell, and I damn near fell down. I don't even know what I was running for. I guess I just felt like it. After I got across the road, I felt like I was sort of disappearing. It was that kind of crazy afternoon, terrifically cold, and no sun out or anything. And you felt like you were disappearing every time you crossed the road. Boy, I rang that doorbell fast. When I got to old Spencer's house, I was really frozen. My ears were hurting, and I could hardly move my fingers at all. Come on, I said right out loud almost. Somebody open the door. Finally, old Mrs. Spencer opened it. They didn't have a maid or anything, and they always opened the door themselves. They didn't have too much dough. "Holden," Mrs. Spencer said, "how lovely to see you. Come in, dear. Are you frozen to death?" I think she was glad to see me. She liked me. At least, I think she did. Boy, did I get in that house fast. "How are you, Mrs. Spencer?" I said. "How's Mr. Spencer?" "Let me take your coat, dear," she said. She didn't hear me ask her how Mr. Spencer was. She was sort of deaf. She hung up my coat in the hall closet, and I sort of brushed my hair back with my hand. I wear a crew cut quite frequently, and I never have to comb it much. "How have you been, Mrs. Spencer?" I said again, only louder, so she'd hear me. "I've been just fine, Holden." She closed the closet door. "How have you been?" The way she asked me, I knew right away old Spencer had told her I'd been kicked out. "Fine," I said. "How's Mr. Spencer? He over his grip yet?" "Over it? Holden, he's behaving like a perfect I don't know what. He's in his room, dear. Go right in." Alright, so that was the end of chapter 1. I hope you liked that reading, and if you do, remember to give it a like and comment if you have anything to say about this reading, and also share it if you think there's anyone who you know might enjoy listening to this kind of reading. So anyway, it is late. I have to get back to bed, and until then, I wish you have a good evening, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a good night. Goodbye.